What's going on, guys? We're back for another We're Racing video, and we're talking about this weekend's Grand Prix. We're talking the Australian Grand Prix, and we're going to get into some of the news because there's been some breaking news. The coronavirus is making its rounds around the paddock, which is really concerning for this weekend's action. So Lewis Hamilton is surprised that Formula One has decided to press on with the Grand Prix and feels that it might not be right, Kimi says as well. So what do you make of it? If there is coronavirus in some of the team members, should it go ahead? If we lose one of the teams, which we have, should we continue with this season's, not this season, but the Australian Grand Prix in particular? I think this will all blow over eventually, but it's going to take some time for it to pass. And yeah, it might not be until what? Maybe the Spanish Grand Prix, hopefully. Maybe Monaco will be the season opener. Who knows? What's your predictions? Are we going to get the Bahrain Grand Prix? Or we know fans have already been banned from going to that race to watch it. The teams will be going. But as it's carrying on, I don't think we're going to see a Bahrain Grand Prix, in all honesty. So, yeah, McLaren have withdrew from the Grand Prix as a team member has tested positive for the coronavirus. So it's been announced on Wednesday that 3 Haas team members, along with 1 McLaren employee, were in self-isolation whilst awaiting results. A 4th Haas member has then placed into self-isolation on Thursday and will test results due back today. So yeah, really sad. You can see the post here from McLaren. McLaren Racing has confirmed this evening in Melbourne that it is to withdraw from the 2020 Formula One Australian Grand Prix following the positive test of a team member for the coronavirus. The team member was tested and self-isolated as soon as they started to show symptoms, and they will now be treated in the local by local healthcare authorities. The team has prepared for this eventuality and has ongoing support in place for this employee, who will now enter a period of quarantine. The team is cooperating with the relevant local authorities to assist their investigations and analysis. Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren Racing, and Andres Seidel, team principal of McLaren F1, informed the Formula One and FIA of the decision this evening. The decision has been taken based on the duty of care, not only to McLaren F1 employees and their partners, but also to their team's competitors, Formula One fans and stakeholders. So it's a real bold decision for McLaren to actually pull out of the race, because you just think what their sponsor's going to say about it. They want to get their car out there, Carlos Sainz and Nando chomping at the bit. But at the same time, it's not right if it could potentially spread more. Remember, they should have to disinfect anywhere where this employee has been, and there could be a few more of them. So I think this is highly in doubt. Remember, it's evening there now. Everyone will be sleeping. I think when everyone wakes up in Australia tomorrow, there could be a big announcement. We could see the postponement, or we could see potentially the fans base banned from the race. Let me know your thoughts. What's going to happen around that in the comments section below. I'm going to try and read through them whilst we're live, but a bit difficult to do so because I get a funny screen like you can see here. So what other news? What else is going on in the world of Formula One? We know that the non-powered Ferrari teams, they've all lodged a protest against Ferrari and the confidential agreement, because it was only the fact that the teams protested against the Ferrari power unit last year that the FIA actually undertook an investigation. So the saga, yeah, it could be handled a lot better, I would say as well. You just need more disclosure on the matter, and I think it would just wrap it all up and everyone would get that closure on the matter. So what else is going on in the world of Formula One? Bottas is saying that the DAS, it's not going to be too much of a problem if the DAS is banned in the course of the season, if there is a protest, for instance. What do you think on the DAS system? Should it be legal? I think if only one team's going to be running it, it's pretty pointless. It's like this old F-duck thing before. It's just another thing to throw money at. And I think it's a pretty gimmicky concept. It's a great innovative design, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I don't think it should be there, because it is an unfair advantage at the end of the day, but it is their ingenuity, so full credit to that. So Horn is saying Mercedes are the absolute benchmark, we all know that, and they looked rather ominous in testing. They just look on another level. Like, even when they started playing with this DAS before that, they just look solid in terms of reliability, pace. The car looks settled, balanced, showing good body language in the car. So yeah, Mercedes, when we do get racing, they're going to be the team to beat. I think Ferrari are going to have an off season. I think they've been playing catch up with their engine, and now with this new engine regs, everything this year, I think they're not going to be, vying potentially for the pole position. I think it will be Mercedes drivers. Let me know your thoughts on that. Will we see the Honda-powered Red Bull at the front of the grid this season? I really, really hope we do see Max Verstappen chomping at the bit with Lewis Hamilton and the likes of Valtteri Bottas. That would be interesting. Albon as well. I'm really hoping for a good year for Albon. I like this driver. I like this guy. Really likable chap. And hopefully he has a good season. Mercedes look worryingly strong. They do. And also the Force India. Not Force India. I always say Force India, don't I? Racing Point, Richard, is looking some hell of a car. It's basically a carbon copy, that everyone's saying, of the Mercedes of last year. Not a bad benchmark to base it on, the championship winning car. And but what the problem they're going to have is developing the car, because they really need to understand the concept of the car. It's very well copying something which looks great and is great from the data, etc. But the other thing is actually understanding it and being able to improve it and bring them performance upgrades to it throughout the course of the season. So watch out for that. We might get a good start from Racing Point. Will it tail off towards the end of the season? I think it will for a lot of teams this year, because of the 2021 dramatic change in the regulations around the aerodynamics of the car and the outwash effect, etc. So we're going to see a big focus towards the where the driver sits all around that side of the car there. And that's really going to be the key battleground, will be around here come next season. We're going to lose a lot of performance from the front wing, etc. So, it's going to be really interesting. Thanks for watching. I thought we'd just catch up, have a little chat, guys, with the news of the potential cancellation, I would say, of the Australian Grand Prix. There's not long to go now. What we on? We're on Thursday, so it's going to be Friday there tomorrow, very soon, and I think that's when there's going to be an announcement before the cars go out. They let the fans in the gates. That's the time to do it. So. Really sad times for the sport and sport in world in general due to the coronavirus, but it's also sensible for them to potentially call it off, and a good call from McLaren as well to do what they've done. I'm really looking forward to seeing the AlphaTauri on track this year. It looks exceptional. It's got that rasping Honda engine in the back of it, which does sound dirty and beautiful at the same time, and I really love it. So what we got here, the Italy quarantine was affecting some of the teams, because remember, like Ferrari and AlphaTauri, they're based out of Italy, and it was a problem for them to travel to get visas, because it was just a travel ban from these hotspots. They call them like a Cat 1 country, and it could prevent them from moving around the world. That was the big problem in Bahrain as well. If you're coming from Australia, etc., you need to have a certain period of incubation kind of thing, so you don't have the coronavirus, because it could be laying dormant, etc. Too much. I'm no medical expert, so stop talking, Richard. But let's hope we get some action, even if it's practice. We always see like 3 back-to-back Grand Prix at the Bahrain Grand Prix, maybe behind closed doors, to make up for the potential loss of the first 3 rounds. Australia here, we're very close to lights out, so it's going to be a late cancellation potentially. Bahrain could be behind closed doors, like we say, and Vietnam's the other one, which is looking to get postponed. If they postpone it, where they're going to squeeze these races in? It's already a hectic, tight schedule. Are you going to cancel the summer break? Are you going to break that curfew for this year? I think you're going to have to be honest with you. But it's a massive undertaking, the logistics of moving a Grand Prix around, and just putting it at a different point in the season is going to be very tricky, especially when it comes to China, Vietnam, and if we don't get Australia, where they're going to put that? Concerning times. So they're just going to scrap the season? I bloody hope not. And the teams, they're going to want to be compensated for all these beauties that they've created. But no, I think it will blow over. Give it probably 4 to 6 weeks, and we'll get our season underway, maybe minus a few rounds. Maybe they should put some bonus races in on a Saturday, or some sprint races. Let me know your thoughts on that. How could we claw back the racing action that we could potentially be missing this year? And I'll catch you all soon. Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the video. And thanks for tuning in.